I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've been hyped up for this series for so long because I started reading this, I read its source material, the manga, when it first started and everything, and now we have like 30 chapters or 30 or so chapters, I think it's like 34, and to see this given new life in anime form just makes me happy because this is one of the most comedic anime or manga you'll ever see because it has a standalone kind of thing. It has monster girls and everything, but the comedy that mixes with them and a monster harem and all that, the way they present all this, it's going to be hilarious. But maybe you don't like monster girls, or other than that, you have your own opinions about it. That's fine, but for me, this is going to be one of my favorite anime of the season. Why? I've read the manga, I'm a huge fan of it, the characters are funny, and the animation already is outstanding. For me, when I say an animation is outstanding, I mostly look at the eyes. The eyes, to me, are what attract me the most. If they have good animated eyes, then I'll probably sit down and watch a couple more. Of course, there is the whole thing with the plot and all that, but this one, it doesn't need a super complicated plot. It's about pretty much, you have the government that hid extra other species kind of people, like you'd have centaurs, lamias, harpies, dragons, and all that. The government hid those, and then like 3 years before that, they passed a bill that allows cultural exchange and interactions between the species, the humans, and then the extra species, as they deemed them. So basically cultural, like you could have them come over there, you'd have some of them live over in Japan or wherever this takes place, and some of them would live over in the extra species land and all that. So you could have Harpy help out at a nursery or something. That's pretty much what it is. But they also solidified it with laws, so you cannot harm them whatsoever, or else they get deported and you get severely punished. Humans can harm other humans, and monster girls can harm other monster girls and monster guys and all that, but you can't harm each other. That's the whole thing. Our main character is Kurisu Kimihito, I believe, and he became a homestead where you have extra species come in and live with a person or a family for an extended period of time to see how they adapt and adjust to this modern day Japan and all that. He became an accidental one when an extra species coordinator, Miss Smith, dropped off a Lamia at his home. Her name's Miia, and I will say she's probably my favorite character of the series because of all of her antics and how forward she is. And as they say, Lamias are the fiercely passionate kind. Like you don't get between them and their love. So since the whole bill was still kind of new and everything, a lot of people, it's natural in any place that people are always hesitant about change, and when you present them with something like a half-human, half-snake or something, a lot of them are not gonna really take it well, or they'll do things that are insulting, but they don't think it, like taking a bunch of pictures. So that's what kind of happened. And Miia was afraid. She's afraid that Kurisu was gonna hate her because most people are always hesitant about Lamias because they have the lower half of a snake. In fact, Kurisu, he just doesn't discriminate against people, and especially if they're girls and everything. He cares for people, and he helped out and gave her a blanket because Lamias are cold-blooded, like snakes. And they were in a cold room. He put a blanket on her, and she realized he's not a bad guy. Several days later, I believe, she nearly crushed him in the bed and everything because Lamias, they'll coil up the person they're sleeping next to, and just like a snake does, it'll slowly crush them. And it's not good when they're asleep because then they can't control their coils. Yeah. Kurisu, my man, you got Miia. What a lucky guy. So this episode was pretty nice. We got introduced to Miia and the whole premise and the setting and all that. We got introduced to his house, the coordinator. We got introduced to the extra species kind of thing. And Kurisu even had a badass moment where he slugged two people making fun of Miia because they didn't think... They're just rude-ass people. I'm gonna be straight and honest with you. They were rude and they deserved a slug in the face. So, yeah. And then Mrs. Smith is always really... Mrs. Smith is a badass. You guys don't believe it just yet. I've read the manga, so I know up ahead, but Mrs. Smith is a complete and utter badass. Do not mess with her sometimes. I'm looking forward to the next few episodes, because we get the Harpy and Centaur Poppy and Centaria, I believe. Yes. I can't wait. This episode's pretty good. I highly recommend it if you do. They kind of censored it's not a bad censor, not like the morning beams of light and all that. It's just they didn't draw in the extra parts on the breast and everything. So if you're into give it a try at least. Give episode 1 a try, because you may or may not like the comedy and all that. If you do, good for you. Stick around and watch more when it comes out. So, if you haven't already, leave a like, comment, or subscribe on this video for more reactions, views, or vlogs. This is Autox Nation here, and I ask you to follow the links in the description to the anime or to my Twitter, where you can talk with me all day. Well, that'll do it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day!